Okay, I am trying some new technology. I'm trying to get, I think I'm doing something, y'all. I'm trying to get the screen. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can see my, Lord. Joy, don't touch nothing. Don't touch nothing. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see my little diagram here. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see my diagram. You know, I think I'm doing something, y'all. Please don't talk to me. I'm trying to get this little technology together. So tonight we're going to be talking about business structure, asset protection, starting your business, forming your LLC. That's the first stage. But once you start to grow your business, your struggles are no longer trying to start the business. The struggles is going to be trying to keep everything together, because there's going to be so many different avenues of people, things coming at you, and we want to make sure that we're protected. Okay, so here's my diagram. What do y'all think? So the number one thing I want y'all to understand is tonight I'm going to be talking about holding companies, parent companies. Sometimes the term holding and parent company can kind of be used interchangeable. So when I'm talking about a holding company, I'm talking about an entity that's owning assets, okay? When I'm talking about a parent company, I'm talking about an entity that's owning businesses. So in my examples, a holding company is holding assets. So it's holding vehicles, it's holding real estate, it's holding copyrights, trademarks, it's holding assets. A parent company is owning businesses. Sometimes people use the word holding, parent interchangeably. So I want us just to be on the same page, okay? So we never want to do business with an entity that owns assets. Where are my cups? I done moved my office around. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Here we go. So if we're doing business with an entity that owns assets, so I have Joy's Barbecue. Joy's Barbecue owns some land. Joy's Barbecue has some money in the bank. Joy's Barbecue has some company vehicles. Joy's Barbecue is also doing business. If I were to leave my ribs out overnight, I don't know, they spoil. Everyone that came in the next day ate the ribs, got really sick and food poisoning. There's now a class action lawsuit against Joy's Barbecue. I lose the lawsuit. I get a $2 million judgment against me, but I only have $1 million insurance policy. That means that Joy's Barbecue is on the hook for $1 million. If you lose a lawsuit, they're going to take the assets of what the business owns to sell it to satisfy this $1 million debt. So they're going to come take my company cars. They're going to come take the money in my bank account, and they're going to take my company vehicles. They're going to sell the real estate and the vehicles and get the money to reimburse them for this $1 million judgment they have against Joy's Barbecue. For this reason, we never want to do business with an entity that owns assets. We want to separate them. Check out my screen, y'all. Check out my screen. Okay, so we want to have a holding company or an LLC that's owning that. Girl, can I just stop touching stuff? You want to have one entity that owns the assets, and you want to have one entity that does the business with the public, okay? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me get to my next slide. Come on, Jesus. Bam. Can y'all see this? Oh, it looks small. If I can move my little camera in. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Oh, it's so small. Let me move this closer. I thought I was doing something. Dang it. Can y'all see this? Bam. Okay. Let me move it closer so y'all can see. Okay, so we're going to have our holding company up here is going to own the asset. If I touch this thing, is going to own the assets, meaning the titles to the vehicles, the deeds to the cars. This holding company is not going to do any business with the outside world. Down here, can y'all see down here? Down here will be the LLC, or here, we'll use this one. This is going to be the LLC doing the business with the public. So this will be Joy's Holding Company owning my assets. This LLC right here will be Joy's Barbecue. Joy's Barbecue is doing business with the public. But Joy's Barbecue does not own any assets. There's going to be a lease agreement between the holding company and the LLC doing business to be able to use the assets. So Joy's Barbecue would have a lease agreement with the holding company to be able to rent the vehicle, be able to rent the real estate so that it can use it. Therefore, if Joy's Barbecue got sued, it would not lose the assets. Okay? Let me back my thing up. Back my little thing up. So, that is what we're talking about tonight. We don't want to do business with an entity that owns an asset, because if we do, we can lose the asset. In business, you're going to get sued. It doesn't mean you're going to lose the lawsuit, but in business, it's very litigious, okay? People sue for anything. A customer gets mad and sue. A vendor gets mad and sue. People just mad because you went in and they sue. You're going to get hit with a lawsuit. If you've been in business long enough, you've had a lawsuit been served to your business. That doesn't mean you're going to lose the lawsuit, okay? A frivolous claim, you're going to win. If you weren't wrong, you're going to win. But you want to make sure that if a lawsuit were to happen, you are protected. Now, there is another thing called a parent company. Let me get my screen, y'all. Hold on. Let me get my screen. Y'all think I'm doing something. I think I'm really doing something right now. Okay. So a parent company, let me move her up a little closer. A parent company is going to own different businesses, okay? So sometimes you may want to have one business own all your LLCs. You do not have to have this structure, okay? If you want to have what I call the bubbles, let me get my, let me, where are my bubbles? Bam. No, that's not my bubbles. Where are my bubbles, y'all? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. They not like us? Oh, here they are. Here are my bubbles. Okay. You can either have a parent company own your LLCs, or you can just have separate LLCs. It does not have to be this structure. It doesn't have to be that structure. But these are going to be the two ways of owning your businesses. So you can either have your parent company own your LLCs, or you can have just 4 different LLCs. But what I want you guys to understand, get back to my screen. Hold on. We do not want to do business with an entity that owns assets, okay? So let me back my thing up. Another reason why you don't want to do business with an entity that has assets is because we don't want to risk losing the asset. If any of this is making sense, drop a money sign in the comments. Drop a money sign in the comments. And let me see, do I have any questions thus far? When you are, for example, if you have a business that has a lot of assets, if you have a real estate business, you have Airbnb, if you personally have assets, you don't want the assets in your name. You may have heard the saying, control everything, own nothing, right? You don't want to personally have assets in your name because you now personally are a target to get sued. You don't want to have your business entity having assets because they can get sued. So as you acquire property, as you acquire things, you want to make sure that the things are protected. If you were to get hit with a lawsuit, you want to what I call minimize or reduce what you're going to lose. So that's why holding companies are essential to protect your assets. You never know what's going to go on. I am doing a sale tonight since y'all are up late. I have a holding company webinar that comes with a masterclass that breaks all this stuff down, along with the commercial lease and the vehicle lease agreements that you would need to use interchangeably between your different LLCs and your assets to be able to use them. If you want the link, I am putting it on sale from $199 to $47 just for the first 10 people tonight. If you want to get my holding company masterclass, type in holding in the comments and a link will be sent to you. If your page is private, DM me holding and I'll send you a link. Okay, I have a masterclass. It's on sale just tonight for the first 10 people for $47. The same thing would work. Well, let me break up. I do holding companies and parent companies. So hold on. Where's my parent company screen? Bam. Y'all think I'm doing something with these little graphics. I think I'm doing something, okay? So, boom, 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 boom. Can y'all see my little screen? Bam. When it comes to having multiple LLCs, if your business has multiple locations, you need to have every single location in a separate LLC. If you have multiple businesses, we need to have every single business in a separate LLC. For the same reason of asset protection. Boom, 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 boom. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I gotta get my setup better. Okay, so I have Joy's Barbecue. I don't move my office around. I don't have my cups, so hold on. So if I have Joy's Barbecue, and let's say Joy's Barbecue has 2 locations. I have Joy's Barbecue North and I have Joy's Barbecue South. If I were just to have both locations in one LLC, here's what's going to happen. At Joy's Barbecue South, an old lady trips and falls and breaks her neck. Now I'm being sued at Joy's Barbecue South. However, I have both locations in one LLC. So when I get a lawsuit at the South location, it's going to affect the cash flow for the North and the South location. We don't want this. Cash flow is king in business. Why? On the first, what's due? The rent. We got payroll, we have to get supplies, we got inventory, you have your own personal bills. So it is so important that we protect the cash flow of the business. For this reason, every location a business has should have its own LLC. So I have Joy's Barbecue South, I have Joy's Barbecue North. So now I have litigation at South, same scenario, lady fell, broke her neck. I'm being sued over here, but Joy's Barbecue North is still slinging and banging. I am still being able to open my doors. I am still making money. I'm not making as much money, but I'm making enough money to handle all of these bills. I can cover some of the other bills at the other location. I can still knock out my mortgage, keep these kids in baseball and ballet, and keep things moving. I may need to downsize my extracurricular things. Maybe this summer we're not going to be vacationing how we would, but for the most part, my life is still going on. This is why it's so important for each location to be separate. Each business you do to be separate. So I have Joy's Barbecue and now I'm about to do Joy's Lashes. New LLC. If I were to combine Joy's Lashes with Joy's Barbecue, maybe I'm not good at doing lashes. I put too much glue. The glue gets on the girl's eye and makes her blind. Joy's Lashes sues me. She gets to touch the Joy's Lash money and the Joy's Barbecue money, okay? So I always say it is grimy out here in these business streets. People are always trying to come at you. That's why it's so important that your structure is correct. Your business structure is the foundation of your business. If it's faulty, it's not going to work. And you're going to be having restless and sleepless nights at night because you know that you're not set up properly. Okay, so if you need to know how to get yourself together, I am putting my holding company masterclass on sale tonight from $199 to $47 just for y'all. I am trying to get everyone's business to the bank and keep it at the bank protected. So if you want the link to the masterclass, comment holding in the comments or DM me holding for the link. Let me see. Do I have any questions? Oh, Lord. I'm on this little screen, y'all. So does anyone have any questions regarding starting or forming their holding company? Now, a lot of times people will say, well, do I need to start building business credit in my holding company? Do I need to go finance vehicles in my holding company? We do nothing in our holding company, okay? No one needs to know about the holding company but us and our other entities. If you go and start establishing business credit, if you go and start taking out loans in the holding company name, what's going to happen if you default on the loan? They're going to come take the assets. We don't want to enter into any contract with the holding company. What's going to happen? If we default on the contract, if we have a contract dispute, they're going to sue the holding company. So the holding company is like our little secret company. We don't need anyone knowing about it except us and our other entities. Because if the holding company does business, anything doing business is opening itself up for litigation. And that's not what we want to do. Now, if you want to have the parent company structure where you have one entity owning your other entities, then that would be a parent company. If you want that, I would have your holding company on its own separate. If y'all can't see me, let me scoop my screen up a little closer. Boom, boom. Nothing is connecting the holding company to this diagram, okay? The holding company is by itself, just owning the assets. The parent company owns the subsidiaries. So if something were to happen, a lot of people have this structure and they use this also as their holding company and they keep the assets here. Well, here's why that's a problem. If we have litigation down here at LLC 1 and they pierce the corporate veil, meaning, yes, I got sued here. Yes, I have asset protection if I follow the corporate formalities. Let's just say I forgot to file my LLC annual report. And my LLC is inactive. If it's inactive, they're going to pierce the corporate veil, meaning they're going to negate this LLC and come up here to the mama bear. We don't want that. That's why we don't want to have any assets up here. So if your structure looks like this entity should own no assets, because if they pierce that corporate veil, it's coming up here. This needs to have absolutely nothing. So, oh, come on, screen. Your holding company is always separate by itself. You'll have a parent company own the subsidiaries if you want that structure, or you can have each LLC stand on its own. But we never want to do business with an entity that owns assets, and we never want to have any kind of structure that's holding our businesses owning assets, because if they pierce that corporate veil, they're coming up to whoever owns that entity. And if that entity has assets, we're now going to lose them. Okay? It's one thing to lose money. We can always make more money. But a lot of times, if we lose the money and the asset, it's just going to be like a bigger blow, a bigger hurdle for us to come back over. It's easier to make more money just to keep the cash flow going. It's going to be a little harder to keep the cash flow going and make enough money to then repurchase all of the assets. Okay, so that's why it's so important to have the right business structure. One of my businesses were sued. Can I open a new LLC? You sure can. You sure can open a new LLC. So this structure can cut the need out of a state anonymity. Okay. If you want some anonymity, let me show you what you can do. Now, what I'm about to show you is not going to be the same anonymity that you would get. Can y'all see? I gotta figure out how to make this thing bigger. I'm working, y'all. I'm working. What you can do to slow somebody down in finding who you are is you would have this structure if you want to have some kind of anonymity. So if Joy's Barbecue is LLC number 1, I would have Joy's parent company or something general, J&J Solutions, J&J Group. I would have J&J Group owning Joy's Barbecue. Now, if they go and if someone knows how to find entities, they would then go and search J&J Group to see, well, who owns J&J Group? One thing you could do is if you already have a state LLC, is you could make your parent company be a Wyoming or a Delaware or a Nevada. You can have your parent company be an anonymous LLC, and that would then own your state LLC. So when they look up LLC number 1, it's owned by J&J Holdings. It's out in Wyoming, and then it's going to take them a long time to figure out who J&J Holdings is in Wyoming. So that would be a way to get yourself some anonymity by having that kind of structure if you have to form an LLC in the state that you're doing business in and it doesn't have anonymity. Okay, y'all, if you have a question, I can't move my little screen on this little screen. So if you have a question, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I am putting my holding masterclass on sale tonight from $199 to $47. Just type in holding in the chat. Investment properties in a holding company and property management is the parent company, the parent. Okay, if you have investment property, it's gonna be the same scenario. Let me get a bigger screen. Bam. Boom, boom. Let me make y'all. Come on, screen. Okay, here we go. Bam. So anyone who has real estate, you want to have this structure. You're going to have your holding company or LLC own all of the real estate, meaning the title for the real estate is going to be in the holding company's name. You're going to have a second LLC that is going to be what I call a property management LLC. It's going to be the one that's doing business with the public. So your property management LLC is going to be doing business with the tenant. They're going to sign the lease with the tenant. They're going to collect all the rent from the tenant. They're going to handle all the issues dealing with the property, LLC number 2, or our property management LLC. So the tenant only knows about LLC number 2. But like I said, we never do business with an LLC that owns assets. So our holding company is who's going to be owning the asset. There's going to be a lease agreement between the holding company and the property management company. So property management is going to pay every single month the holding company a lease fee to be able to use the property. Once they are able to use the property, they're going to lease the property out to the tenant. And so the leasing company will be on the lease with the tenant. So if anything goes wrong, if the tenant falls and breaks their neck, if something happens, they slip and fall, they're suing this entity, but this entity doesn't own anything. So if you were to lose something, we're only losing our cash flow. Okay, so we're trying to mitigate what our loss is going to be. Does that answer my real estate question? So in real estate, Airbnb, rental properties, even people who are doing fix and flips, if you are buying property outright, if you're going and buying tax liens, so when you're buying the property, you're actually getting the deed. You're not financing everything. depending on how big of a scale you're doing it and how much protection you want, sometimes these fixer and flippers may have 5 properties at one time that they're owning, and they're working on them. Well, anyone in real estate knows construction is very litigious, okay? You have your subs, you have your contractors, you have people who are causing delays, which is making the project, go long. We have subs that don't have great integrity. They are increasing the pricing on their invoices. So there's always reasons why there is litigation when it comes to real estate and construction. You don't want to go to the tax lien office, buy 4 properties in the LLC, and although we're not going to own them for a long time, you may own them for 3 or 6 months, and you're keeping it in the same entity that you're doing the work in. Well, why? What if you get sued? What if there's a lawsuit on your property? You're now going to lose all of the assets that you bought. So same scenario, when you go to the tax lien place to get the houses, buy them, put them in the holding company, have a separate LLC, be the LLC that's doing all the contracting, all the work, working with the subs, working with the GC. So if something were to happen, this is the entity being sued, not the entity that owns the assets, okay? Once you start acquiring assets, it's going to be hard as hell to keep them. The more money you make, the bigger a target you are, and people are always trying to come up, okay? Everyone always thinks, once I start making money, things will get easier. Once you start making money, things become harder, because now, instead of just being you trying to pay a bill, it's now you trying to fight off everyone from trying to take what you have earned, okay? So it's so important that you have the proper business structure. So 2024, I'm getting everyone's business to the bank and protecting their assets. I have a holding masterclass that's normally $199, but tonight for the first 10 people, I'm putting it on sale for $47. Since y'all are up here at the crack of dawn, getting y'all businesses together, okay? So if you want that link, comment holding in the chat. If your page is private, DM me the word holding. If you have a question, put it in the chat so I can see it. But here is let me show my screen again. This should be the structure for anything dealing with real estate. Okay? So your tenant should never be doing business with an entity that owns assets. The tenant should never even know what this is. Okay? The tenant is only doing business with the property management LLC. You want to keep everything separate. Everything needs to be separate. This would be the same for Airbnb. You will own your Airbnbs in one entity, your holding company. You'll be leasing out or having your contracts with the host with a separate LLC. You don't want to do business with the Airbnb host with the same entity that owns the assets, okay? This is not on my page. I have a holding company masterclass. It's on sale tonight just for y'all for being up here at the crack of dawn. So for $47 tonight versus $199, just type in holding in the chat. And for the first 10 people, I'm going to be giving away for $47. So if you have Airbnb, you have real estate, you have a car dealership, you personally own assets, you don't have anything yet, but you know you're about to have assets, and you want to make sure that you know how to protect them, then you need to get my holding company masterclass so you know how to protect them. And it also comes with the commercial lease agreement and the vehicle lease agreement, so you can have the proper contracts to go in between your holding company and your LLC. If you need help setting this up, or if you want me to kind of break down what is the best business structure for what you have going on, business structure is not a one size fits all, okay? It's kind of personalized based on what you have going on. If you want to book a one-on-one call with me, just type in help in the comment and the link will be sent to my calendar so you can book a business structure call with me so I can help give you a personalized business structure. Okay, so once again, This will be your structure for anything dealing with assets. If you have cars, they'll be over here. If you have property, they'll be over here. If you have trademarks, you have copyrights, whatever are the assets that you own, they're over here. You have a separate business that's doing business with the public, that's doing business with the tenant, that's doing business with the outside world. We never want to combine these two because we want to always keep our assets. In business, you will lose something. You don't want to lose everything. So, as lawyers or attorneys, we're always trying to make sure, like, how do I mitigate the loss? How do I minimize the risk? If something were to go wrong, how do I reduce what the loss is going to be? And that is why holding companies, separating of assets, besides a holding company, multiple LLCs, right? Every business that you have is a separate LLC, never combining a business together. If you have multiple locations, all of that needs to be a separate LLC. You don't want to have an issue in location one affect the cash flow for all the other locations. Cash flow is king in business. It's what keeps the business alive, and we have to protect it, okay? So if you want to get my holding masterclass on sale from $199 to $47 just for the first 10 people tonight, type in holding in the chat and a link will be sent to you. Okay, I'm on 10% and I don't have my charger in here. So if we have any questions, I'm looking at my screen. If not, I will show you the slide one more time. We're always having a separate LLC for assets and a separate LLC that's doing business. What would be the NAICS code that you say you don't want for real estate so you can get funding? You want to have a general NAICS code. So when consulting, management, technology, education, all of those are going to be low NAICS codes or low risk. Do you license your trademark to? Yes, you do. So if there is a trademark, let me go back to that screen. If there is a trademark, come on screen. Okay, hold on. Let me get my charger. Let me get my charger. Let me get my charger. She's about to die. Let me get us. Okay, are we back? Okay, we're back. Let me pull her up close. I gotta get a little better. I gotta get a little better system, y'all. I'm not really good with tech. So if somebody knows if I can do all this stuff a little less bootleg-ish, let me know. Okay, with the charger, it can't. Okay, let me move the screen forward. Come on, Samsung. Oh, come on, Samsung. Okay, that's not gonna move. Okay. So if any of the subsidiaries are owning trademarks or copyrights, your holding company will own that, and then you will just license it out to the subsidiary. So you don't want to do business with any kind of asset. Now, all of this licensing and leasing and all of this, it has to be real. Okay? It has to be a real transaction, meaning you can't just set everything up and then just say, hey, I have a holding company and I have subsidiaries, and on the first, there's not a lease payment. Okay? Everything has to be a real transaction for this to stick. How I'm up here telling you how to protect your assets, there's another seminar down the street of attorneys teaching them how do what they call pierce the corporate veil. How do I say, yes, you have an LLC, but you weren't running it like Walmart. Your LLC wasn't active. You were commingling personal and business funds. You were using business funds for personal expenses. You didn't have the right insurance, license, and permit. You didn't have your operating agreement or your bylaws. You didn't have your corporate minutes. Any of these violations will pierce the corporate veil, meaning, yes, you formed your LLC, but we're going to act like you didn't form the LLC because you didn't run it like Walmart. So We don't want that. So what you want to make sure is that everything you do is a real transaction. So if you have a holding company and you're leasing the vehicles to your business, well, every single month there should be a payment from the business to the holding company to be able to lease that car. You can't just say, I have this set up, because if you were to get sued, they're going to subpoena the bank statements. They're going to think that they're suing the entity that has the asset. Once they realize, there's no assets here, they're like, bet. All right, but I'm going to get to the asset. So I want to find out what y'all didn't do that was supposed to be like Walmart, so I can get past y'all and get to the entity that has the asset. They're going to subpoena the last 90 days of bank statements for the holding company. Oh, the holding company leased the asset? Prove it. Let me see the lease payments. If there's no lease payment, then there is no holding company. There is no separation of the asset. You didn't do it correctly, so now they're going to pierce that corporate veil and get to the asset, okay? So I'm trying to explain how you need to do it, but more importantly, why it needs to be a real transaction. Well, that don't make no sense. I'm just moving money from one account to another account. I'm just paying myself, and I don't understand. When you get hit with a lawsuit, you want everything to be bulletproof, okay? So you want to make sure that it's a real transaction, meaning you're treating your holding company and you're treating this lease agreement as if you were leasing the car from Lexus. If you went to go lease a car from Lexus and your car note's due on the 1st, are you paying your car note? Or you going to say, oh, Lexus ain't tripping on it. No, you're going to pay your car note, or Lexus will come pick up your car. Same thing here. You have to pay your lease agreement, or this whole structure isn't even really a structure. All of this is just pictures and fluff if you don't run it correctly, okay? So I break everything down in detail in my holding masterclass. It is very important that you understand how to structure your business, how to run your business. As your business grows and as you accumulate wealth, either in your business or you personally, you want to do the same thing. So I have my holding company masterclass on sale from $199 to $47 just for the first 10 people tonight. Comment holding in the chat and a link will be sent to you. If you personally own assets, hold on, got a question. Then do you lease the parent, then a parent leases the subsidiary? No, you would, if you have the parent, if you have this holding company, the holding company class cost isn't $47. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I changed it. Hold on. So for the person who asked about, did I hit save? Girl. Okay, I didn't hit save. Hold on. I did not hit save. Boom, boom, boom. Let me see. Is it $47 now? Yep, okay. I hit save. It is now $47. My bad. It is now $47. Okay. So, if we're doing the holding parent, let me get back to my slide. Okay. I gotta give me a little better. I gotta give me a little better method. But baby, are my slides cute? Give me a thumbs up if you think my slides is cute. I spent a lot of time on my little slides trying to make these little boys cute. Okay. Okay. So if you have a parent, subsidiary, and holding, the holding company will lease directly to whichever entity is going to be using that asset. It doesn't have to go directly to the parent company. So if LLC number 1 is using the truck, the holding company will lease to the LLC number 1. If LLC number 2 is using the property, the holding company will lease right to LLC number 2. Now, this would also work if you have personal assets, right? So if you personally own your home, you personally own some real estate, you personally own a car, you would own it still in your holding company and then just lease it to you to personally use. That way, if you were to get sued, let's just say you're driving your car, right? And you hydroplane and you go and you crash you run over the person in front of you. They sue you. They get a $2 million judgment and you only had $1 million policy. Well, now you're personally on the hook for $1 million. Whatever you own in your name, they're going to take to satisfy the judgment. You can put your assets in a trust. There are different types of trusts. If you don't have an irrevocable trust, then, as long as you have control with the trust, a trust is not bulletproof. It's not going to give you, all the asset protection that you're wanting. So you can take the assets and put them either in a trust or in a holding company and then just lease them to yourself. So if you were to get sued, you won't lose anything because it's not going to be in your name. So all we're trying to do is kind of remove the assets from the entity or from you. So when something happens, we're just protected, okay? Any questions? If you want the link to my holding company masterclass where I break all this down and I give you the commercial and the commercial lease agreements and the residential lease agreements to be using in between your entities, comment holding in the chat and a link will be sent to you. I'm putting my masterclass on sale tonight from $199 to $47 for everyone who's trying to get their business to the bank, okay? If you are just starting your business, you don't have to have this structure if you don't have assets, if you don't have multiple locations, but it's always great to know as you grow what is the next step. The holding company masterclass, I want to say, is 2 hours. I think my holding master is going to be 2 hours. I think it's just 2 hours. My business structure is 4. My holding company should be about 2 hours. It's going to break everything down. I go over holding companies. I go over parent companies. I go over the, how to use the lease agreement to kind of, break everything down so that you know exactly what it is that, that how you need to set yourself everything up. Or if you want to book a consultation with me, you can just put help in the chat and I'll send you a link to get on my calendar. But tonight, for the first 10 people, I'm going to give away my holding masterclass for $47 so that you guys will understand how to properly, protect your assets. Can we get the link to both classes? Tonight, I am not putting my business structure class on sale. I am just doing the holding company on sale. Business structure is $199. It's normal price. If you type in structure in the comments, a link will be sent to you for that. Is there a way to have the holding company own only the asset without making the holding company own the subsidiary itself? Yes, it is. Hold on. So, like I said, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. So, my first screen was... boom. So you can have a holding company and then you can just have 3 LLCs, 2 LLCs, 1 LLCs. Nothing is connected. They're just 3 separate LLCs and the holding company, which is an LLC. What makes it a holding company is how we're using it, okay? So this will be the company owning the assets, and then whichever entity or whatever LLC needs to use these assets, there will be a lease agreement and a lease payment between the entities. So you don't have to have that parent subsidiary layout. You can have just 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 separate LLCs and then 1 holding company. And then whatever entity is using that asset, you'll just have a lease agreement and a lease payment between that entity and the holding company. So everything can be separate. Yes, I have my LLC kits available. You can just type in kit in the comments and a link will be sent to you. So, holding companies are a must. I guess we're talking about holding companies. You can also do a parent company. Let me hold my little screen. Let y'all see my little screen. Parent companies are not a must. Some people want a parent company. Some people want to have one entity owning all their entities. Sometimes they'll do that if they're trying to just get paid out of one. Maybe they're trying to get funding in one and they want to move all the money up. So, like I said, there is more than one way to skin a cat. Business structure is not a one size fits all, right? It's going to be whatever is the best thing for you, right? So whatever is the best thing for you. That's why I try to teach, what the purposes are, all the different ways of having structure, so you can kind of see which one do you like the best. I have entities that are separate. I have entities in a parent subsidiary. I have it's just whichever you like, for whatever are your goals. Anything works. There's not one that's better than the other. It's all whatever works for your goals. Okay, let's see. What is the difference between your holding company structure and your Form Your Business Masterclass? I think you mean Form Your LLC Masterclass. My Form Your LLC Masterclass is going to be a masterclass where I walk you through how to actually form an LLC. I kind of go through like all the different questions that will be on the LLC application. And then I actually do a walkthrough with about 10 different states. All the LLCs ask the same questions, but I just did like 10 different state examples. My Form Your LLC webinar is $99. However, it is free if you join my university. My university is my community where I, do live trainings and all that good stuff. So if you join my university, and it's just $47 to join my university, you then get the Form Your LLC Masterclass, and you get my business credit solely in your business name, and you get the business structure and grants class all for free. So if you want kind of get all those knocked out, you can just type in join in the chat, and for $47 you join my C at the Bank University. I kind of have all those freebies in there for my university. So the Form Your LLC is actually how do you actually form your LLC. Sometimes people want to be able to do their own LLC, but I know how to do it correctly. So I have that masterclass. The business structure masterclass is going to be a 4-hour masterclass going over how to form your LLC, how to run your business correctly, how to get your virtual or business address. Is going to go over. I have a section on holding companies and parent companies. It's not as detailed as, of course, the holding company masterclass. I kind of go over from A to Z. How do you pay yourself? How do you pay taxes? Anything dealing with running a business, I go over in my business structure course. That's $199. You can type in structure in the chat, and a link will be sent to you. Okay. It is 1 o'clock. Okay, any other questions before I wrap up? Making sure that your business structure is on point is very important. Okay, so my screen. If you want to get a link to my holding company masterclass, type in holding in the chat, and a link will be sent to you. If you want to join my See You at the Bank University, it's $47 a month. You can cancel anytime. You can type in join. I already have in there the Form Your Own LLC webinar. I have my business credit solely in your business EIN webinar in there for everyone who joins. And I have my business structure, grants, marketing webinar in there. So you want to kind of get your business to the bank. All of that is there. Then tomorrow night at 9 p.m., I am having a live question and answer with Zoom for my university. You just got to go in there and get the link, and it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern time, okay? I hope my graphs broke everything down as to how we're going to structure your business. So everyone have a fabulous night, and I will, of course, see you at the bank.